Paolo Banchero came out of high school as the number 2 ranked prospect nationally, just behind Chet Holmgren, and committed to the Duke Blue Devils. Banchero has since grown from 6'9" to 6'10" and bulked up from 235 pounds to 250. But beyond just getting bigger, Banchero has also impressed with his skill set. Banchero was one of those players that grew up playing guard before having a late growth spurt. This has given Banchero a unique set of skills for a big man. Barring injury or a massive drop-off in production, Banchero will in all likelihood hear his name called near the top, if not at the top, of the 2022 NBA draft. Banchero's first strength is how nimble he is at his size and how good his footwork is. A lot of big men in the NBA, while supremely athletic compared to a normal human, are very methodical in their movements. They struggle to move their feet quickly, which is why they can struggle to stay in front of twitchier guards out on the perimeter defensively. Banchero is quite the opposite of that. Banchero is the definition of a big man that moves like a guard. He can give opposing defenses fits because it's tough for traditional big men to stay in front of him, while it's difficult for smaller players to contain him due to his size and strength. But beyond just his quick feet, Banchero also has shown some really nice footwork on the court. Some players are very agile but don't know how to create space with their feet or set their feet properly on the move to get a good shot off. Banchero seems to have an advanced feel for where to move his feet to create scoring opportunities. All in all, Banchero is tough to contain thanks to his quickness and his ability to use that quickness effectively. Another big strength for Banchero is his ability to handle the ball at 6'10". Banchero was a late growth spurt guy, and as a result he grew up playing mostly guard. That experience has translated into Banchero being extremely comfortable with the ball in his hands and even having the ability to play some point forward. Being able to handle the ball at the level Banchero can makes him very dangerous on the offensive end. While he's not quite at the level where you can trust him to run the offense for an entire game, he's confident and competent enough as a playmaker that you can have him run the point for stretches. You can put the ball in his hands and let him create for himself and his teammates. A third strength for Banchero is, well, his strength. Banchero currently stands 6'10" and weighs a lean 250 pounds. As mentioned before, he's very quick, and he gives opponents further headaches with how strong he is finishing through contact and how strong he is at ripping down rebounds. You see these players in the NBA that are so strong that even if you try to foul them, sometimes they can power through the contact and finish anyway. Banchero appears to have the ability to do this already. In fairness, NBA size is quite different from college size, but the way he is able to consistently finish through contact at the college level is encouraging for sure. He's also strong around the basket when it comes to rebounding. He can hold his own down low and isn't afraid to try rebounding in a crowd. Some prospects struggle with the strength difference between the college and NBA levels, but I don't see this being a big issue for Banchero. The last, and in my opinion biggest strength for Banchero is his shooting touch. Banchero is a little different from most modern players when it comes to his shot selection. Banchero loves to take shots in the mid-range, and normally that would be a red flag. But Banchero is also different in that he's incredibly efficient in the mid-range area. Not only that, but he has a knack for being able to nail tough shots from a variety of angles. All that being said, Banchero is not just a one-trick pony when it comes to his shot. While he isn't a knockdown three-point shooter at this time, he can go out there and make you a couple threes per game. I would like to believe that with how good he is in the mid-range and at the free throw line, that he can become an above-average three-point shooter as well. But jump shots can be tricky to project, so it's hard to know that for sure. Additionally, Banchero has great touch on his shots around the basket. All that is to say, Banchero is a very efficient scorer. I find it hard to believe that he will have any issues scoring at the NBA level with how great his touch is on his shots. One weakness for Banchero is that he isn't the greatest vertical athlete. Banchero is more than capable of catching a lob or getting a nice block from time to time, but for the most part Banchero is more of a below-the-rim player. As mentioned before, he's very efficient around the rim despite the fact that he relies more on finesse than power and athleticism. But you don't have to worry too much about him ramming one home on you. Some of the better athletes in the NBA could also throw down some dunks on him because he's not great at exploding upward from a standstill. With his strength and size though, his relative lack of vertical athleticism isn't a huge concern, just something that needs to be mentioned. Banchero's biggest weakness is as a defender. Banchero has the tools to be a great defender. He has size, strength, and quickness. If Banchero was even average in the technical aspects of defense, he would be a great defender with all of the tools he has. Unfortunately, he just isn't very good at knowing how to use his tools on the defensive end of the floor. Despite his quick feet that he shows on offense, he struggles to stay in front of ball handlers as a defender. This leads to blow-bys on the perimeter and cheap fouls. He will also take bad angles as he's closing out on opponents on the perimeter, which makes it even more difficult for him to stay in front. If he were a better vertical athlete, he could cover up this deficiency by staying in plays and blocking shots. but as mentioned before, this isn't his strong suit. I think Banchero's biggest struggle at the NBA level will be being able to hang in there on defense. But with the right buy-in from Banchero and proper coaching, he has the potential to be a solid defender down the road. This first clip gives us a look at Banchero's footwork. The play starts with Banchero receiving the pass in the mid-range out on the wing. He then turns and faces up his defender. After a ball fake, Banchero puts it on the floor, gets his defender going right, spins back to the left and dunks it home. A play like this requires the quickness to be able to pull off such a move, but also the presence of mind to know where his feet need to go when his defender does X. It's plays like this that make me believe that Banchero will have no issues scoring at the NBA level. This next clip shows off Banchero's ability as a shooter. Banchero starts the play receiving the entry pass at the elbow. He then puts it on the floor and moves out into the wing mid-range area. From there he sees two defenders, but deftly half spins right, then back to his left straight into a fadeaway jump shot. He hits nothing but net. This isn't a shot coaches are going to want Banchero to fall in love with for sure, but the fact that he is able to do it is huge. Banchero has the ability to create and make tough shots when needed. This last clip shows how Banchero can struggle with the technical aspects of defending. The play starts with Banchero rotating to help a teammate under the basket. The ball then gets kicked into the corner to fellow top prospect and human wind turbine, Chet Holmgren. It is Banchero's job to close out on Holmgren and defend from there. Banchero doesn't take a great angle on his closeout and gets caught flat-footed when Holmgren drives at him. As a result, Banchero gives up a cheap foul. Banchero is a toolsy player that could be a good defender one day, but he'll have to clean up plays like this if he wants to get there. Paolo Banchero will likely be in the conversation for the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. With his combination of size, quickness, and skill, he has the potential to be a contributor at the NBA level right away. Additionally, I do believe that Banchero has the upside to be a star. I think he'll have to improve a bit from beyond the arc and truly embrace his ability as a playmaker to reach his ceiling. But if nothing else, he should have a long career as a productive starter. My NBA comp for Paolo Banchero is Karl Anthony Towns. He's a big guy that can shoot at a high level and also create shots for himself, but the defense is a little suspect at this time.